Styles says he has no idea what Nicole Bass is, but we should call her Russia because she's so much bigger than China. Then she tries to do something, but Lynn escapes and hits Bass right in the nuts, is what Styles said. He's like, don't tell me otherwise. And then, yeah, Styles says, Nicole Bass. Ugh.
At least they're not shying away from it, I guess.
He was saying what we were all thinking. He says everybody knows she can announce better than the ECW's actual announcer. Then Sunny does an objectively worse job than ECW's actual announcer. I also have no idea why the crowd cheered when Sunny said Candido was the hardest she ever felt. At the very beginning of the match, they did the shoulder charge test of strength thing, and Awesome just shoves Tanaka. He says, "Get off me, motherfucker."
This is a rough match. I thought they were going to kill each other. Mike Awesome, big ass, jumping over a barricade.
3D is their cross. And tonight, it's Dreamer's cross to bear. Yeah, good promo. Big Dick Dudley was super fucking annoying, though, with his grunts and shit. He's
Yeah, I guess he's a mute. Seems like that's all he was doing the whole time.
ECW death match to an absolute finish. Falls count anywhere.
They said it's a death match to an absolute finish, which in my mind was like, so someone has to die for it to be over.
He sure loves his tag champions that don't get along.
You know, I was going to say that. Candido and Lance Storm. So we just saw that gimmick, and now he has Sabu and RVD doing the same thing. The exact same gimmick, just a different team.
Well, moving on, we have our Wrestling Rewind. And this week is ECW Heatwave 1998. We are in Dayton, Ohio. Joey Styles is in the ring. He welcomes us to Ohio. Joey chant breaks out. And Styles introduces Shane Douglas and Francine. Shane Douglas is his co-host and color commentator. Shane's arm is still busted up, and Douglas says he's excited because tonight Bam Bam Bigelow gets his hands on Taz. Shane brings up their last match and how they both went through the ring. I think it was Living Dangerously. He says Bam Bam promised him that he's not putting Taz through the ring tonight. He's putting him right through the goddamn concrete floor. Styles then said he got a new suit. It's double-breasted, just like Francine. And then Francine says her tits cost more than Styles' suit and shoves his face in her chest. Then the show starts. And it starts with Just Incredible versus Jerry Lynn. Whoever wins the match wins their feud. Incredible comes out with his merry band of circus freaks. Just Jason, Raven's sister, and handsome Nicole Bass. I wonder if this is what inspired the Oddities.
I thought it was... What was Raven's group? Was that the Oddities?
No, Oddities was Kurgan, the Jackal, Insane Clown Posse.
Oh. Maybe I don't know that group.
They had Golga, Cartman shirt.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
You know.
Where were they at?
What do you mean, what were they at?
Were they WCW, WWE?
They were WWF. They were during the Attitude Era. Oh, Luna Vachon was part of them, too.
Yeah.
I
remember the name, but I don't remember anything about the group. But it is possible.
Well, I was a fan of Insane Clown Posse, so they got me suckered in. Styles says he has no idea what Nicole Bass is, but we should call her Russia because she's so much bigger than China. A pretty good wrestling match, although credible to me. Seemed a little too rehearsed, if that's the right word. Seemed like he was waiting for Jerry Lynn's moves. Credible's freaks, of course, got involved. I guess just Jason is a karate master because he did karate on Jerry Lynn. And then Credible grabs a drink from a fan and beams Jerry Lynn in the face with it. And Credible also had just Jason feed him a chair a couple times, one of which he got burned because Lynn DDT'd Credible right on it. Then the ref got mad at Raven's sister for draping Credible's leg over the ropes because, you know, the chair was okay, but get the leg on the ropes. Got to get chastised for that.
Of course.
Lynn then set up a table ringside and put Credible through it with a Frankensteiner from the top rope. Lynn gets Credible in the ring, tries to pin, and Raven's sister distracts the ref so just Jason can attack Lynn. Lynn ends up kicking just Jason's ass. Then handsome Nicole Bass comes in with a low blow. Then she tries to do something else, does like a fireman's carry, but Lynn escapes and hits Bass right in the nuts, is what Styles said. He's like, don't tell me otherwise. Lynn ends up hitting Nicole Bass with a chair. Then Raven's sister, who's been distracting the ref this whole time, pushes the ref aside and starts distracting Jerry Lynn herself. So Credible attacks Jerry Lynn from behind, then holds him so Raven's sister can get a free shot. She ends up nailing Credible in the nuts. So then Jerry Lynn tombstones Raven's sister, and he goes for his third or fourth top rope Frankensteiner to Credible, but it gets countered with a top rope tombstone for the win. And then Lynn and Raven's sister both sold the tombstone to perfection, as far as I'm concerned, because Lynn was out. He reminded me of the Giant when he got hit with the belt.
Who might still be out.
And then, Styles says, Nicole Bass. Ugh.
At least they're not shying away from it, I guess.
He was saying what we were all thinking. We have Lance Storm versus Chris Candido after that. Candido came out with Sonny. I guess that's supposed to give him some sort of advantage. He's also wearing an amateur wrestling headgear. And he also came out to Highway to Hell. And he does Ric Flair struts. Candido then does the Rick Steiner pose in the ring while Sonny plays Scott Steiner. The ring announcer starts saying names, then Sonny snatches the mic. She says everybody knows she can announce better than the ECW's actual announcer. Then Sonny does an objectively worse job than ECW's actual announcer. I also have no idea why the crowd cheered when Sonny said Candido was the hardest she ever felt. Okay, so we learned that Candido's ear was torn off by Sabu and Rob Van Dam. That's why he's wearing the gay headgear. But later, Storm rips it off, and we see that Candido's ear is fine. But that's because he's had plastic surgery, at least according to Joey Styles.
Yeah.
So this was a really good match, especially when Candido lost his headgear. It's hard-hitting, high-flying. They were both evenly matched. Like, it wasn't one-sided. But then there was Sonny, who completely shifted the spotlight onto herself. Like, she's screaming at the ref, she's screaming at the fans. At one point, she gives Candido powder to use on Storm. Storm swats it in Candido's face. And then Candido blindly takes out the referee. Storm decks Candido, goes for a top rope something, but Sonny comes in from behind and crotches him on the ring post. The ref and Sonny then get into it. Candido, still blind from the powder, gets the ref in a schoolboy. As the ref is falling, he grabs out and happens to snatch Sonny's dress. Everyone in the stands stands up, and the focus wants on Sonny the rest of the match. Candido wins after a powerbomb from the top rope, which nobody saw. In fact, I had to rewind it.
And some dude ran out with a jacket.
Yes.
His sports coat to cover up Sonny. Because, yes, that ref completely got that top off. As a matter of fact, the dress was almost falling off in total. Because I guess that was the only thing holding that dress up.
Apparently. I just thought it was funny that everybody stood up. However many people were in the stands, they all just turned and looked at Sonny.
Yeah, and there's quite the pop for it, too.
And I'm watching back. Is Sonny a little overrated?
No.
Maybe it was the ECW cameras.
Well, yeah, it's from the early 90s, so it's not like we're seeing it in HD here.
Yeah, it was a good little opener. I like Candido. I'm glad he got rid of that stupid headgear. I thought that was like actually part of his gimmick. I mean, it is, but I thought he was trying to be like an amateur wrestler. Well, then we find out that before the show, there was an incident in the parking lot. And we cut to New Jack. He's happy to be in Ohio. One of the few people to ever be happy to be in Ohio. Then New Jack starts talking about some dude named Jack Victory and how he's going to whoop Jack's ass. New Jack stops. Then he says, "We can do this shit right now." And then the camera pans and we see some guy, presumably Jack Victory, approaching. Then a car pulls up behind New Jack, and then the Dudleys swarm him. Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten were there on New Jack's side, but they didn't help at all. New Jack ultimately gets hurt. They beat his ass, and the bad guys leave. So now we don't get to see a weapons match between Jack Victory and New Jack. I don't even know who Jack Victory is, so I can't say I was, disappointed.
Well, maybe Jack Victory is upset because he didn't get the payday.
Well, he's part of it, so you can't be that upset. Rob Van Dam, one half of the tag team champions, and the TV champion is in the back. Sabu and Bill Alfonso are also there. Rob Van Dam and Alfonso just talk about how awesome they are. They're wrestling two Japanese guys, so Rob Van Dam fake sneezes whenever he says one of their names. Sabu's a whiny bitch and wants to be mentioned every time Rob Van Dam says something good about himself. Rob Van Dam had to remind Sabu that he's the one that lost their singles match and says he's going to teach the Japanese guys what he's been trying to teach Sabu. The RVD's the whole fucking show.
And he actually said it too. Maybe that's what I noticed about this show is there's a lot more cussing.
We have Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. And Mike Awesome is, well, awesome. He's bigger and shows that he's super athletic and not afraid to climb the top rope. Did a bunch of springboard shit, too. At the very beginning of the match, they did the shoulder charge test of strength thing. And Awesome just shoves Tanaka. He says, "Get off me, motherfucker." So, yeah, Awesome is kicking ass. Then he hits a release German suplex, and Tanaka doesn't sell it. And he starts going on offense. And Tanaka stands Awesome on the apron, grabs a chair, goes to the top of the entrance ramp, does what Al Snow did. He ran up to the very top of the entrance ramp, ran back, beamed him right in the skull with the chair. They both go to the floor, start sword fighting with chairs. Awesome hits a springboard clothesline into the stands. Then he gets Tanaka in the ring and hits an Awesome bomb. Tanaka kicks out. Awesome hits an Awesome splash. It's also kicked out of. Then he just starts beating the shit out of Tanaka with a chair. Tanaka draws strength from being pummeled with the chair. Awesome does a baseball slide to evade a clothesline, grabs the chair, dents it on Tanaka's head. That gets a 2 count. Then Awesome does a standing razor's edge, jumps off the top rope, nailing Tanaka in the head with a chair. And he doesn't go for the pin, but instead tries and fails an Awesome bomb through a table that's ringside. Then Tanaka power bombs Awesome through the table from the ring, and Awesome has the roughest landing I've ever seen. He lands straight on his neck onto a concrete floor through a table.
Yes.
Tanaka gets Awesome in the ring, hits a roaring elbow for a near fall, and then hits Awesome with a tornado DDT on a couple chairs, gets the pin. I was more impressed with Awesome than anything else.
This is a rough match. Like, I thought they were going to kill each other. There were a lot of spots. Like, diving out into the crowd. Mike Awesome, big ass, jumping over a barricade into the crowd from the turnbuckle. Like, these guys, someone's going to get hurt.
Well, what about when he did that springboard and he just stopped and screamed?
Yeah, I don't know. I was on edge the whole match that someone was about to actually get hurt. I was surprised that Awesome lost, though. I thought, from what I remember, he did a winning streak too, but I guess not.
If I remember correctly, Tanaka was supposed to wrestle. Who the fuck was he supposed? That match that Doug Furnace came out and he lost. There's a Japanese guy that he was supposed to wrestle, and that Japanese guy was supposed to wrestle Tanaka, but they show clips of Tanaka wrestling Mike Awesome, so I think they just had that match.
Oh, yeah, I remember the clips. Yeah, okay.
Because he even had the Tanaka powerbombing Mike Awesome out of the ring.
Which was a crazy spot in itself.
No shit. So we're going to have some comments from the unrecognized the World Heavyweight Champion, Taz. And Taz says he has goosebumps. Can't wait to make Bam Bam Bigelow tap out. Says he's the only champion in this business that means anything. Not Stone Cold or Goldberg or especially Mike Tyson. Taz says Bam Bam beat him the last time they faced each other, so Taz needs his win back. He knows he's going to get his ass kicked in the process, and that's the part that Taz likes the best. Shane Douglas went on to say the ECW title's the real one.
Yeah. I guess they're building towards that.
Yes, very obviously so.
Yeah.
Then the Dudleys are backstage with something to say. Cuts to 6 men in the smallest room they could possibly find. It's Bubba Ray Dudley, Big Dick Dudley, Sign Guy Dudley, Devon Dudley, Joel Gertner, the Extreme official Jeff Jones, and the Dudleys' new valet, Beulah McGillislutty, which happens to be a fuck doll with Beulah McGillicuddy's face pasted on it. Gertner says that this is supposed to be the end of the Dudleys, but tonight the odds are overwhelmingly in the Dudleys' favor. New Jack is out, Beulah McGillicuddy's out, so because New Jack and Beulah are out. No one's going to save Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, or Spike Dudley. Bubba Ray cut a grudgingly good promo. Says Dreamer was crucified for Beulah's sins, and Dreamer can give his soul to Jesus, but his ass belongs to the Dudleys. And the 3D is their cross, and tonight it's Dreamer's cross to bear. Yeah, good promo. Big Dick Dudley was super fucking annoying, though, with his grunts and shit. He's like, shut the fuck up. God.
Yeah, I guess he's a mute who just grunts.
I don't know what he is.
Seems like that's all he was doing the whole time, was just grunting.
In all my years of being on this planet, I've never just seen somebody just. Up next, we have Jinsei Shinzaki and Hayabusa versus Rob Van Dam and Sabu. It's for the ECW World Tag Team Championship. Shinzaki and Hayabusa came out looking like Mortal Kombat characters. I know sorta Hayabusa. He's a legend. I think that's fair to say. He was really good. Shinzaki looked like Raiden, and then got to the ring and revealed that he's all tatted up like Lord Tensai.
Yeah, he used to be in WWE. They said that on commentary, but I remember him from WWE. I mean, I don't remember his name in WWE, but you can't forget a guy with all those kind of tattoos. I think he had a match with Bret Hart at one point, but yeah. And the guy tatted up like that, you don't forget him.
Hayabusa looked like a Japanese version of Sabu. All the scars and shit. They both had the silky, baggy pants.
Yeah.
This one took a while to get going. Lots of starts and stops. RVD tried a mid-air arm drag and botched it. The crowd told him they fucked up. Shinzaki did a praying old school. Got a standing ovation. Sabu gets in. Pace and intensity immediately gets to where it needs to be. Then Rob Van Dam comes in as the illegal man to cheap shot Hayabusa, and then all hell breaks loose and spills to the floor. Hayabusa nails everyone with a springboard moonsault. Sabu does a springboard dive to everybody into the crowd. RVD violently tossed Sabu back over the guardrail, which was a nice little touch. Shinzaki and Hayabusa get Rob Van Dam in the ring. They just start take turns hitting him with springboard moves. And later, Sabu hits Shinzaki with a top rope Frankensteiner. RVD comes out of nowhere with a frog splash. He changed direction in midair, but he didn't need to. Shinzaki hits RVD with a powerbomb. Hayabusa hits a 450 splash. Hayabusa gets hit with a Rolling Thunder leg drop combination. Shinzaki gets a Boston Crab leg drop combination. His leg drop was from the top rope. That fucks him up. Sabu and RVD set up a table that Shinzaki and Hayabusa try to use. However, the table collapses, and then Hayabusa has to basically do a normal splash to RVD onto the table. Alfonso starts sliding multiple tables in the ring after that. This time, RVD and Sabu put Shinzaki and Hayabusa each on a table and then do stereo top rope leg drops. It looked more impressive than I think it was.
Yeah, they had to time it just right because, they were putting them through one table.
It's crazy that no one got hurt from that.
Yeah.
So RVD goes for the cover. Sabu knocks him out of the way and gets the pin. Yeah, this one was kind of a hard one to follow for me.
It was definitely all over the place. It was, more of like a tornado tag match.
Heyman sure loves his tag champions that don't get along.
I was going to say that. Candido and Lance Storm. So we just saw that gimmick, and now he has Sabu and RVD doing the same thing. The exact same gimmick, just a different team.
We get a Bam Bam Bigelow Taz hype video. So we go back to Living Dangerously, and Bam Bam and Taz are going through the ring. Taz lost the match, and this fucked him up psychologically, but still came out to shake Bam Bam's hand like a man. Taz's revenge gets put on hold after Bam Bam loses the television title to RVD, but Bam Bam and his team interfere in a match involving Taz's cousin, so the window opens up again, especially after Taz fucks up Shane Douglas's arm. Taz fucks Douglas up twice, then starts calling himself the champion, even has his own title created. Bam Bam then says the only way Taz faces Douglas is for Taz to get through him first. Taz then pretends to join their group and then fucks Douglas up for a third time. Then Taz fucks Douglas up for a fourth time during the match that Douglas and Candido are having against RVD and Sabu. Bam Bam and Taz brawl in a parking lot. And then, Douglas on commentary reiterates that Bam Bam promised Douglas that he's taking Taz out. Joey Styles points out that Bam Bam tapped during their first match, and the ref just didn't see it. And Shane Douglas flips out on him. So this leads us to Bam Bam versus Taz. It's an ECW death match to an absolute finish. Falls count anywhere.
I like how they said that too. So they said it's a death match to an absolute finish, which in my mind was like, so someone has to die for it to be.
Apparently.
But then, they said falls count anywhere.
And this is for the unrecognized FTW Heavyweight Championship. So the match starts. Bam Bam hits Taz with a powerbomb right off the bat. Taz gets up and gives Bam Bam the finger. And then Taz pretty much kicks Bam Bam's ass. Then they go to the entrance ramp. Bam Bam gets kicked off the entrance ramp into the crowd. Taz tries to dive on him, but gets caught. They fight in the crowd. It's hard to see because the lighting sucks. It was hard for me to see. I don't know about you.
No, I can tell what was going on.
Bigelow fucking slipped and fell on his ass again. Taz tries a katahajime, but Bam Bam blocked it. Then they fought back to the ring. Taz gets busted open on the way back to the ring. Bigelow props up a table in the corner and throws Taz through it. Then Bigelow props the part of the table that's not broken in the other corner and tries to put Taz through it again. Taz reverses it, puts Bam Bam through the table piece with a Tazplex. Then they fight on the entrance ramp again. Bam Bam does a throat slash and points to Shane Douglas. He lifts Taz up to do something, but it doesn't matter because Taz turns it into a DDT and they both crash through the entrance ramp. And everything just stops. Crowd starts chanting, holy shit. Some drunk retard is screaming ECW directly into the camera mic. Douglas speculates that both Bam Bam and Taz are dead. And then we see movement, and Bam Bam once again survives the hole. But then Taz comes out. Then Taz roars and locks in the katahajime on Bam Bam, who taps out immediately and then starts floundering like a fish. Taz calls Douglas out after the match, and then Douglas throws a monitor and a temper tantrum, and Taz gives him the finger. And then Douglas is no longer on commentary.
Yep, seems like he's stayed his welcome.
It's a little weird to me how they both have that crash through the entrance ramp spot and they both survive it.
Well, because it was a tease from last time, as they both didn't survive it. So they teased that finish, even though going through the ramp would be worse than going through the ring, I would imagine.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was just a tease to the finish. Now, they were selling, I don't know if it was on purpose how they did it, but Douglas even picked it up. It did look like Bam Bam was reaching, trying to get to the ropes, and then they called it a tap.
Yeah, you're right. Which
Douglas
is funny because, falls count anywhere.
Well, he was trying to get to the ropes for, I guess, leverage or something, some kind of help.
I took it as he was trying to get to the ropes to break the hold.
Yeah. And knowing ECW probably would have, well, that'd be a more WCW thing. They would adhere to it, even though it's a death match. But yeah, that's, I guess, a good setup. And it did get me thinking about, like, the WWE spot, like when they explode the ring. Just like the fact that they do this, not the main event, and you have to like reconstruct whatever it is.
Yeah. Fortunately, there was only one match left.
Yeah.
Which we do get a main event hype segment. The feud started when the Dudleys hit Beulah McGillicuddy with a 3D and it broke her neck, put her out of wrestling forever. Cuts back to Joey Styles, who can't even pretend to be objective, calls the Dudleys scumbags for what they did to Beulah. Apparently, the Dudleys split up the Eliminators and the Gangstas and put Sandman in the hospital. Styles calls them street trash, once again refuses to be objective because they make him sick to his goddamn stomach.
And that's how you put over a move. This move is so devastating, it's putting out anybody who gets it.
So you have the Dudleys versus Tommy Dreamer, the Sandman, and Spike Dudley. Dudleys came out, and Bubba challenges everyone in WWF, WCW, and ECW. Then he tells a fan he fucked his mom. Sandman, Dreamer, and Spike all come out carrying ladders, proportioned to their size. Sandman drinks beer, walks around ringside smashing cans over his face. He's bleeding profusely before the bell even rings. Spike is crawling around like a dog under the ladders on the entrance ramp. Tommy Dreamer and Devon start. So we saw Dreamer's girl get her neck broken. Therefore, Dreamer feels like the best way to start the match is to have a nice little wrestling bout with Devon. Spike Dudley gets tagged in just so he can get thrown around. Sandman and Big Dick Dudley both get tagged in, and it shortly devolves into a brawl to the floor. Pretty much everyone gets busted open. Spike climbs a tall ladder in the ring and then dives on everybody on the floor. Bubba Ray does a senton to a ladder that's lying on top of Dreamer. Spike hits Bubba Ray with an acid drop. Devon saves the pin, then hits Spike with a sidewalk slam on the ladder. Bubba Ray, Devon, and Big Dick get put in a tree of woe. Dreamer puts Sign Guy in a figure four. Sign Guy Dudley, his legs busted up, so, you know. Then the evil ref, Jeff Jones, decides to pile drive his fuck doll, then pose like Dreamer, and Dreamer kicks his ass. Gertner gets put in the tree of woe. Then they all put chairs over the tree of woe victims' faces. The referee decides to help. Then Spike, Sandman, Dreamer, and the referee all huddle up. They each pick a corner and drop kick a chair into someone's face. Big Dick Dudley hits Dreamer with a sit-down two-handed choke slam on the ladder, which looked like it wasn't fun for either one of them. And then Spike tries to hit Dick with an acid drop, but ends up getting tossed out of the ring through a table. Sandman runs wild with a Singapore cane, but gets cut off by Bubba with a chair. Bubba tries to splash Dreamer on a ladder, but misses. Then Dreamer hits Bubba with a DDT onto the ladder for the win. Then I guess Jack Victory shows up with a guitar, smashes it over Dreamer's head. So the good guys are getting their asses kicked after having just been through a hellacious match. They're not ready for a healthy Jack Victory. It looks bleak for the good guys. It looks like we're going to end the pay-per-view in tragedy. But then rap music begins to play.
You know what that means.
New Jack shows up with a shopping cart full of weapons, and the bad guys just get their asses kicked. The good guys pose on ladders they brought out. Well, Spike wasn't allowed to, but the real good guys posed on ladders.
Yeah. And that one guy really got it, huh? So he got the stop sign to the head, and then they put it on his crotch and then hit the stop sign on his crotch.
I like how New Jack would do a little dance every time he hit somebody.
Yeah, or he'd go to the top rope and pose.
Yeah.
And yet again, New Jack comes out late.
Yes.
To his music.
He's got to have a dramatic entrance.
Yeah. So that's just his thing, just showing up late.
Well, Lance Storm continued his rivalry with Chris Candido. The two squared off in a rematch on an episode of Hardcore TV, where Storm defeated Candido after fooling him into believing that Tammy Lynn Sitch was bound under a WWF contract and would not be allowed to be at ECW. But after the match, Joey Styles revealed that Sitch was freed from her WWF contract. 2 weeks later, Sitch appeared along with Candido to tell everybody that she would stay in ECW. Then on another episode of Hardcore TV, Storm introduced his new valet, Tammy Lynn Bitch, as an insult to Sonny, I guess.
Got her.
It's right up there with Beulah McGillis, slutty.
Yeah.
Then Candido managed to defeat Storm when Sitch pinned him after Sitch ripped off Bitch's clothes. I don't know. At Ultra Clash, a supercard, Candido and Sitch defeated Storm and Bitch in a tag team match to end the feud. So, fortunately, it looks like we're going to miss all that. Uh-huh. The Triple Threat moved on to feud with RVD and Sabu. Taz defended his unrecognized FTW Heavyweight Championship against Sabu and Bam Bam Bigelow. Taz retained due to the match ending in a 30-minute time limit draw. So I guess the unrecognized title has rules?
Of course.
Okay. RVD and Sabu ultimately formed an alliance with Taz called the New Triple Threat, which feuded with Triple Threat as Shane Douglas recovered from his injury. He made a comeback to in-ring competition. And then they intensely feuded for the next 3 months. The New Triple Threat faced a Triple Threat at November to Remember to end the feud. I believe we will see that. Yeah, that's next. So that was Heatwave 98. Next one is November to Remember 98, New Orleans, Louisiana. And yeah, the main event is the New Triple Threat, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and Taz versus the OG Triple Threat, 6-man tag.
Okay.
But before that, we have WCW's Mayhem 1999. This is the inaugural Mayhem event produced by WCW. It's presented by Electronic Arts. The event took place from the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. 12 matches were contested. The most notable featured a 32-man tournament for the vacated WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Well, for our purposes, it's actually a 4-man tournament. Bret Hart versus Sting. We have Chris Benoit versus Jeff Jarrett. So the winner of those respective matches goes on to wrestle for the vacant World Heavyweight title. Other matches were Evan Courageous versus Disco Inferno. That's for the Cruiserweight title. We have Norman Smiley versus Brian Knobbs. It's a hardcore match. This is for the inaugural WCW Hardcore Championship.
Oh.
We have Buff Bagwell versus Mr. Perfect. This is a retirement match.
Oh, no.
Keep in mind what I just said. I want you to think about Mr. Perfect's WCW run.
Not good. It might not be over, though.
It might not be. We have Vampiro versus Berlin in a dog collar match. Ming versus Lex Luger. And we have Scott Hall versus Booker T for the United States Heavyweight Championship and the World Television Championship. We have David Flair versus Kimberly Page. And then, yeah, I know. And then we have Psycho Sid versus Goldberg in the I Quit match.
I wonder if Goldberg's going to be saying I quit.
I wonder how much offense Sid's going to get.